and they're talking about threatening him with insurance fraud. I would say you could get about 20 years in prison, so that's a death sentence for him.
Because at some point, she gonna run her mouth so much it's gonna get you indicted.
Sunny Hostin, co-host of The View, is under fire after her husband, Dr. Emmanuel Hostin, was named in a high-profile federal RICO lawsuit. The shocking case accuses Dr. Hostin and nearly 200 others of orchestrating fraudulent medical schemes and pocketing illegal kickbacks. Filed in December 2024, the lawsuit alleges Dr. Hostin performed unnecessary medical procedures and exaggerated diagnoses to milk insurance claims connected to rideshare and taxi drivers. This explosive revelation has stirred fierce debates, especially since Sunny recently spoke on live TV about her husband's challenges with insurance companies.
Tell me why she got her husband is named in a lawsuit in insurance fraud. The court is in session. Judge, can we show Exhibit B to the jury? Roll it, Nick. I've been waiting all day for this one. I've been waiting my whole life for this one.
Hey, hold on, let Sunny get in here.
I mean, I agree with mostly everything that's been said. I mean, we know that, only about 31% of Americans trust our healthcare system. We have a terrible healthcare system. And, doctors suffer because of big corporations as well. Doctors that want to do good, like my husband, operates on someone even though they don't have insurance and then has to sue health insurance companies to get paid for the work that he's been trained his whole life to do. So there are a lot of problems with it.
Court documents reveal Dr. Hostin's alleged financial links to the Empire State Ambulatory Surgery Center, where he reportedly referred patients for surgeries under questionable circumstances. These referrals, involving minor injuries inflated into major issues, allegedly earned him financial kickbacks disguised as dividends. The insurance company behind the lawsuit, American Transit, claims this is part of a wider fraud scheme exploiting New York's no-fault insurance laws. These laws provide up to $200,000 in coverage for rideshare and taxi accidents, 4 times the amount available for private drivers. Sunny Hostin might have unintentionally thrust the controversy into the spotlight during a recent episode of The View. While addressing systemic issues in the U.S. healthcare system, she mentioned her husband's struggles with insurance companies, explaining how he often had to sue to get paid for the surgeries he performed. Although her comments seemed broad, many viewers saw them as a subtle nod to the lawsuit's explosive allegations. Critics argue that her remarks may have accidentally revealed details linked to the case, further intensifying the scrutiny.
The man that's up here saying Donald Trump is a felon.
It's something that I'm still struggling with, and I'd love to hear your thoughts on is how did a convicted felon resonate more with Americans than a hyper-qualified woman of color?
I mean, I just didn't like the optics of a convicted felon sitting in the White House near a fireplace.
Now is what we said, that we have a convicted felon in the White House. Those questions should not be asked of anyone, anytime, any. Should also be some soul searching on the Republican side who need to analyze why they would nominate a convicted felon.
Dr. Hostin's attorney has fiercely denied the claims, dismissing the lawsuit as baseless and accusing American Transit of using legal bullying to dodge paying legitimate claims. The lawyer emphasized Dr. Hostin's impeccable record and suggested that the case is more about the insurance company's financial troubles than any misconduct by the doctor. Despite these denials, the allegations have undeniably cast a cloud over Dr. Hostin's career and Sunny's public persona. At the core of the lawsuit lies the explosive claim that Dr. Hostin referred patients to Empire State Ambulatory Surgery Center in exchange for illegal kickbacks. Court documents outline shocking instances where patients from low-impact car accidents, cases that usually result in minor injuries, were allegedly overdiagnosed and pushed into undergoing unnecessary surgeries. These exaggerated treatments reportedly allowed the surgery center to rake in massive payouts, with Dr. Hostin allegedly profiting handsomely from the scheme. The lawsuit also highlights a much larger issue: the widespread abuse of New York's no-fault insurance laws. Originally created to make accident claims simpler for victims, critics argue that these laws, with their substantial payouts, have fueled fraudulent practices instead. What was once a safeguard has allegedly become a magnet for corruption. Dr. Hostin's supposed role in this scandal has reignited calls for reform, exposing serious flaws in a system many now view as dangerously vulnerable. Sunny Hostin's lavish lifestyle is drawing fresh criticism as the lawsuit unfolds. The Hostins are said to live in a massive 10-bedroom, 10-bathroom estate in New York, a detail detractors have seized upon as a glaring symbol of privilege. Critics argue this opulent lifestyle starkly contrasts with Sunny's frequent advocacy for social justice issues on The View. Many accuse her of being out of touch with the struggles of everyday Americans, especially as she downplays hot-button concerns like inflation and immigration in favor of more politically charged debates. Sunny's divisive reputation as a co-host has reached new heights amid the controversy.
In the criminal case now, the prosecutors are like, oh, really? Well, how about we add some additional fraud charges onto you, threatening him with insurance fraud, which I would say you could get about 20 years in prison. So that's a death sentence for him.
Known for her unapologetically bold and sometimes incendiary opinions, she's faced accusations of making statements on air that some claim could expose her employers to legal risks. Though Sunny isn't directly implicated in the lawsuit, the scandal swirling around her husband has cast a shadow over her public image. It's raising tough questions about her judgment and what this storm could mean for her career moving forward.
Amongst the largest racketeering influence and corrupt organization, which is the name of that case in the state's history, named nearly 200 defendants.
Dr. Hostin's legal team has fiercely rejected the allegations, calling them a desperate ploy by a struggling insurance company to deflect blame. They claim the lawsuit is baseless, lacking the concrete evidence needed to support such serious accusations. The team insists that Dr. Hostin's referrals were made in good faith and aligned with medical ethics, labeling the case a scattershot tactic meant to intimidate healthcare providers rather than tackle deeper systemic issues.
I think we need to find moral clarity, in this country. And then you started seeing people backtrack that and losing their moral center.
In what appears to be an ironic twist of fate, the husband of Sunny Hostin from The View, he has been accused of federal insurance fraud in the largest RICO case ever filed in the state of New York. Orthopedic surgeon Dr. Emmanuel Hostin is among nearly 200 defendants named in this case. He is accused of getting kickbacks by performing surgery and fraudulently billing a company that insures taxi companies, Uber, and Lyft drivers. This lawsuit alleges that Hostin and his co-defendants knowingly provided fraudulent medical and other healthcare services, including arthroscopic surgeries. The insurance firm American Transit was then billed in exchange for kickbacks and/or other compensation, which were disguised as dividends or other cash distributions. Hostin's attorney told the Daily Mail, ironically or unironically, his client denies each and every allegation and called the lawsuit, unironically, blanket, scattershot, meritless lawsuit by a near-bankrupt insurance carrier.
Yet, despite these firm denials, public speculation shows no signs of slowing down. The explosive accusations, combined with Sunny's on-air remarks, have fueled a storm of controversy that seems unstoppable. Even if the claims against Dr. Hostin don't hold up in court, the damage to his reputation has already been significant. For Sunny, the scandal is becoming a heavy distraction, threatening to overshadow her role on The View and further dividing her audience. The lawsuit against Dr. Hostin has become part of a broader conversation about healthcare fraud and its toll on the U.S. system. Cases like this shine a harsh spotlight on the urgent need for stricter oversight and accountability, especially in states like New York, with generous insurance provisions. Critics argue that the current setup creates opportunities for bad actors to exploit loopholes, driving up costs for both insurers and everyday consumers. If the allegations against Dr. Hostin are proven true, they would serve as a glaring example of how systemic flaws can be twisted for personal gain. For now, the case remains unresolved, with both sides preparing for a legal showdown that could have sweeping implications. As this dramatic story continues to unfold, it's likely to spark fresh demands for reform, not just in no-fault insurance laws, but in how medical referrals and billing practices are monitored and controlled. For now, the situation remains a messy clash of allegations and denials, with enormous stakes for everyone caught in its crossfire.